Joining us now live from Beirut, Lama Fakih, who is a senior crisis advisor at Amnesty International and the author of that report. Thanks for being with us. Tell us more about your findings and how you came to come to that conclusion.
So Amnesty International's latest report is based on on-site investigations in northern Syria in July and August of this year. And while in Syria, we visited towns and villages under the control of the PYD-led autonomous administration there, a key U.S. ally in the war against ISIS in Syria. And in these villages, we saw that civilians, mostly Arab and Turkmen civilians, had been forcibly displaced from their homes, and in some cases, villages were entirely demolished.
And forcible displacement is a war crime. Is this ethnic cleansing that's going on here?
Forcibly displacing a civilian population is a war crime when there is no military imperative reason to do so. Destroying civilian property is also a war crime. What we saw is that while Arab and Turkmen residents were primarily bearing the brunt of these unlawful policies, that some Kurdish residents were also being forced to leave. We are talking about serious war crimes here, but we do not believe that this is a case of ethnic cleansing.
Now, only yesterday, of course, the US military announced that it delivered some 45 tons of weapons to the YPG. Is the US aware of these abuses? Have you raised the issues with them?
We have shared our report and our findings with the U.S. government. The U.S. government has also launched an investigation into the allegations of forced displacement in northern Syria. They have not published the findings of that investigation. We are very concerned that the YPG is using U.S. support actually to perpetrate rights abuse. And we are calling on the U.S. and other coalition states to condemn these unlawful practices and to ensure that any future assistance is not being misused to violate the rights of civilians in areas under the control of the YPG.
How many people are being affected by this? And if it's not ethnic cleansing, what is behind this practice?
We know that thousands of people are being affected. These are just in the villages and towns that we were able to visit and where we were able to document the abuse. The residents that we spoke to believe that in many cases, the acts of displacement and the demolitions were in retaliation for suspicions that these individuals were supporting ISIS or supporting other non-state armed groups. But those suspicions were not actually borne out in fact. There was not evidence, and these individuals did not have a chance to defend themselves. Instead, they were forced to leave their homes, and instead, in some cases, in their homes, everything that they owned was completely destroyed.
Lama Fakih, many thanks indeed for being with us.